I've been doing a lot of thinking recently, and at first it was about which decoder I'm going to put in this scale train's HO scale locomotive. But then it kind of sprouted into a lot of different thoughts about how we do model railroading and if we're all focusing on the wrong thing. Real quick, big thank you to today's sponsor, Model Railroad Academy. They've got all sorts of videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, things that can help you on your model railroad journey. And right now, you can get your first full year of Model Railroad Academy for just $1.49. That's like over 90% off the regular price. That offer is valid for new members only. Check them out in the link in the description. Today I'm installing and setting up a decoder in this scale train's SD38-2. I pre-ordered it DCC ready. It has a 21-pin socket in it, so it's pretty easy to install. The only thing it needs is speakers, which are a bit complicated, but not by much. Now, this is a $200 locomotive without a decoder in it. Now, it does have a lot of separate lights pre-wired and all loads of other details that do justify that cost, in my opinion. And Scale Trains also does a lot of things for customization of different versions of this model that also justify that cost in terms of what it takes to manufacture. But if I got this DCC installed, it would be $325. And for a lot of people, that's just flat out of the question, no matter how detailed and nice the locomotive is. And a lot of people, even $200 is a bit out of the question, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But what if you can afford a $200 locomotive and you still want DCC sound? You've looked at other engines, but you really want this one. Well, you do have some options, and I don't see those talked about a lot. So let's get to that. Now, once we remove everything off of this by removing the screws from the couplers and removing the couplers, we can move off the shell, and it reveals the circuit board on top with the dummy plug for the decoder and the 21-pin socket. So all we have to do is remove that. Be a little careful, you don't want to bend the pins. And then we're going to be attaching the Digitrax SDH187MT decoder. This decoder is a sound decoder and a true budget decoder. There are other ones like this. The biggest one that pops in is the Soundtrack's Economy series of decoders. Now, this one doesn't have all the function slots needed to run every function on this engine, but it will still work and do a lot on this engine. And here's the big thing. I was able to get this decoder from Iron Planet Hobbies for about $50. And that's about half as much as other sound decoders. And when you add in the two speakers that I picked up on Amazon for about 10 bucks, they're just generic Sugar Cube speakers, I'm at $60 for a sound upgrade. Compare that to $110 to $140 for a sound upgrade with higher end decoders. Now, before we begin, we need to solder some wires to the speaker pads right here, the LS plus and LS negative. It does not matter which side that you attach these speakers to, as long as they are the opposite side. Now we're going to wire up these speakers themselves. They have two tiny solder pads each. We're doing two little Sugar Cube speakers wired up in series. So we wire one of the leads to back to the circuit board right there. Then we put a little jumper in between the other two, making sure they're attaching to the opposite pads. And then we will attach the lead from the other speaker pad right here. Now, once this is done, we need to put the speakers in the cavity that the locomotive has. So we need to remove the top part of the chassis by removing some of the chassis screws. And then there's two spots for the Sugar Cube speakers to fit in right there. There's also a little side LED, so just make sure that that goes back in place when you're done. But we go ahead and pop those in, and then we will reattach the top part of the chassis, making sure that all our wires are tucked away and in the proper little wire runs. Then we can put the decoder right on the socket. And then once we're done with reattaching the chassis, we're going to go ahead and put the shell back on, carefully making sure we don't mess anything up, and reattach that with the screws through the couplers, and we're good. Now that I've finished the install, I can program it in JMRI. Now, this is a real budget decoder. Digitrax sends their sound decoders with pre-programmed sounds with some sound profiles. And a lot of Digitrax decoders come with 8 pre-programmed sound projects. The SDH-187MT, though, only has two, a diesel default and steam. This is changed by setting CV60 to either 0 or 1 respectively. If you want more sound options without loading them, you can upgrade to the SDXH-187MT, which has the full 8 sound profiles for about $10 more. If you have a Digitrax PR3 or PR4, you can load sounds onto it using the sound loader software. Just a warning, it only works on Windows, so if you have a Mac like me, you can use something like I am, which is Parallels Desktop Virtual Machine. It's about $80 a year for the service, just FYI on that. You can find those sound projects on either Digitrax Sound Depot on their website, or there's a Groups.io page that has a whole host of custom projects people have made, and I'm going to link both in the description. And this thing sounds pretty good too. It's not perfect, but let's take a listen. So the engine looks great and sounds pretty good too. It doesn't sound perfect or prototypically accurate, but that's okay for a lot of people. So you're probably thinking now, what is my point of saying all of this? Well, a lot of times we get wrapped up in the newest and most detailed locomotives or what's coolest right now. And I'm including myself in this, just FYI, because I do the exact same thing. We tend to look less at the options that are more budget friendly. Product lines like Atlas Trainman, Athearn Roundhouse, Walther's Trainline, and others. Brands like Kato always seem to have really budget-friendly engines that look great and they're easy to put a drop-in decoder in. I see this near constant narrative of people saying that model railroading is pricing people out of the hobby, but maybe there's a different track that argument can take. Maybe model railroading is like most other things, where having all the premium items is expensive. But getting started necessarily isn't, relatively speaking. Don't get me wrong, this is not the least expensive hobby by any means out there, but it's not just a game for the rich that some people like to make it out to be. There's a massive used market out there that can be used to help cut cost. I utilize this regularly. I just picked up 3 used Norfolk Southern hopper cars. Plus, nearly every website has a clearance section that you can find some pretty good deals on if you're looking to get started. There are also a host of engines available in both N and HO scales that are under $100, which, calculating in 1975 dollars, is about $17, so just for a record. If we take a look at these Tyco train ads from 1970 and 1975, we can see that trains have kept up with inflation. And the product has improved dramatically for what you get. Now, before you grab your pitchforks and head to the comments section, I'm not getting into the economic side of this. I'm just showing you that the price is more, but so is the price for everything else. Also, 1975 was 51 years ago. That's weird. There are very expensive model trains out there, and it does feel like that's all we see. But that doesn't mean that it's everything that is out there. It's kind of like how you remember that you saw an expensive foreign sports car when driving but forgot about all those normal cars around you. To sum it up, you don't have to buy every expensive thing to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, of model railroading. You can have just as much fun with the budget-friendly side of the hobby. Ultimately, just do what you want and have fun the way that you want. Model railroading is a wide open hobby that its only requirement is that you are having fun while playing with trains. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.